I'm in a purple phase. Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Sonia. If you're new here, welcome. I am a flight attendant. I've been a flight attendant for the last 12 years. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you for joining me. Today's video is going to be about holiday traveling. Thanksgiving is a week from today. It is the most traveled day of the year here in the US. So having said that, there are a lot of people that only travel at this time of year. I wanted to share a few tips from a flight attendant that will ease your way through the travel season. I'm looking down at my iPad because I have made some notes. So let me start with before you even leave for the airport. Tip number one, pack light and pack smart. You probably won't need your ball gown. You probably won't need 20 pairs of shoes. Also keep in mind that wherever you're going, you might be going to the middle of nowhere, I don't know, but wherever you're going, you probably have a mall. If you forget something at home, or if something comes up, some event comes up and you didn't pack for it, they'll have a mall there. You don't have to pack everything that you own just to go visit your family for the holidays. And when I say pack smart, I should probably do a whole separate video on how to pack, but there's a way to roll your clothes and it just creates more space. Anyway, and I'm sure there's 100 videos on packing already on YouTube. Or if you want me to do a video on packing smart, just let me know down in the comments and I will do that for you. Number two, get to the airport early, especially on the days leading into Thanksgiving. So I recommend getting to the airport at least 2 hours early, preferably 3, just so that you don't have to rush. Count on the security lines being super duper long. Get there early. My next tip is don't pack a bag so heavy that you can't lift it. You know what your ability is before you even leave the house. I know for me, I have a very sensitive back, so I'm not gonna pack it so heavy that I can't lift it, because there's no guarantee that you're gonna have help lifting your bags into the car, onto the belt to get through security, and into the overhead bins. Not to mention, if your bag is overweight, you're going to be charged for that. If you're checking your bag, you're going to be charged for that at the airport. And the reason being is because the people that have to handle those bags don't want to hurt their bags either. So the airline's going to charge you if your bag is overweight. And I want to say the weight limit might be like 50 pounds. I don't know for sure. I will look it up and I will post it. My next tip related to bags is check whatever you don't absolutely need to bring on the aircraft with you. It's just so much easier to walk through the airport without, 5 bags and worrying about 5 bags when you have to run to the bathroom or you want to go and get some food. It's so much easier just to check your bags when you first get to the airport. And then when you land, you just go pick it up. Most of the time, it used to be that bags took forever to come off of the conveyor belt, but depending on the airport that you're going to, by the time you make it out to baggage claim, your bag's probably gonna beat you there anyway. So why drag it all over the airport with you when you can just check it? The next tip that I have is to dress comfortably for the airplane. Layering is best. My standard travel outfit when I'm not working is some comfortable leggings. I love the Spanx leggings. Oh, they're so comfy. I might wear a tank top, and then I have a button-down shirt, and then I have either a zip-up hoodie or a pullover hoodie. That way, if it gets hot on the airplane, you can take off some of those layers. If it gets cold on the airplane, you can add on to those layers. And keep in mind that your flight attendants do not control the temperature. And then also keep in mind that different spots on the airplane feel different. So it might be hot in the front of the airplane and it might be cold in the back of the airplane. Every airplane's different. Plus, your flight attendants are up and moving about the cabin anyway, so they're probably hot. I recommend layering. Another tip is bring your headphones. Make sure your headphones are charged. Charge them the night before. I also recommend that if you have an external power source, like a battery pack, make sure that that is charged. If you have already printed or downloaded your boarding pass to your mobile device, then 9 times out of 10 you can just go straight to security. If you're not checking a bag, you do not have to stop at the ticket counter. If you need to check a bag, which I just recommended that you do, then you do need to stop at the ticket counter. The line might be long, but hopefully it's moving quickly. And also keep in mind that each airline is different. Double check with your carrier. It can be usually found on their website how many bags they allow you to check and how much those fees are. So be prepared. Also, if you plan on carrying your bags on the airplane, there is an FAA requirement. It's got nothing to do with the airline or the flight attendants. The FAA requires you can only carry on 2 carry-on bags. Ladies, moms, purses, diaper bags, those are considered carry-on bags. Keep that in mind. So usually it's 1 personal item like a purse, a laptop computer, a backpack, a diaper bag, and 1 larger carry-on item. That's usually your roller bag. Just 2. That's not the airline's rules. That is a FAA requirement. And the agent that's scanning your tickets as you're boarding the plane, he or she is looking to make sure you have the allotted bags. And if you have too many, if you have 3 bags, they're going to either make you consolidate, so put 1 smaller bag into a bigger bag, or they're going to make you check 1. So just alleviate all of that drama and make sure you only have 2 bags or less when you're walking onto the airplane. Another tip, be prepared during the holiday season for flight delays. Expect it and then be pleasantly surprised if it's on time. Flight delays happen for so many different reasons. Trust me, your airline does not like flight delays any more than you do. So please don't take it out on the customer service agent. Don't take it out on your flight attendants. We're doing our best to try to get that flight out on time, but sometimes there's nothing that we can do about it. Also, if you require a wheelchair, if you're traveling with somebody that requires a wheelchair, please keep in mind that the wheelchairs are not controlled by the airline. There's usually a separate company. They are processing wheelchairs for the entire airport. Keep in mind, like I said, it is the busiest travel time of the year. Yours is not the only wheelchair that they have to tend to. So be prepared that it is very likely that you might have to wait for a wheelchair. But if you get to the airport early, that's not a big deal because you've already allotted time for all of that. Another tip that I have is use the bathroom on the concourse. I don't know why people wait until they get on the airplane and it's busy and everyone's trying to find their seat and everyone's trying to stow their bags, and now you want to come to the bathroom. You're creating traffic during boarding. The bathrooms outside in the concourse, A, they're usually cleaner. B, they're much bigger. Not to mention, you never know what the flight is going to be like. If it's bumpy and that seatbelt sign is on, there's a good chance you might not have a chance to get up. So just use the bathroom outside in the concourse. Listen to the announcements. The announcements out in the concourse, the announcements on the airplane. Those announcements, folks are not just talking just to hear themselves talk. Usually they're sharing some useful information like if there's been a gate change, if you're expecting to go out of gate C20 but now they've changed your gate to C1. If you're not listening to the announcements, you don't know that. You might miss your flight because you weren't listening to the announcements. Same on the airplane. Another tip, don't confuse your departure time with your boarding time. So if your plane is scheduled to leave at, say, 2 o'clock, don't show up at 2 o'clock expecting to get on the airplane. That flight has already been closed, your seat has been given away, and that flight is leaving without you. If your ticket says that your departure time is 2 o'clock, I would show up to that gate by 1 o'clock, 1:15 at the latest, because boarding, depending on the airline, boarding starts 30 to 45 minutes before the actual departure time, and the flights close 10 minutes prior to that departure time. So if your flight is scheduled to leave at 2 o'clock, your flight is closed at 1:50. And the reason being is there's a lot of paperwork that is involved with getting a flight out. There's paperwork on the ground with the agents that are checking you in. There's paperwork that's being done in the cockpit. We can't start that paperwork at the departure time. That paperwork is done 10 minutes prior to make sure that your flight gets out on time. One of my pet peeves, especially if you're traveling with a large group, please don't stand in the middle of the concourse chatting, deciding on what you're going to eat. Like, I don't know what folks do when they're standing in the middle of the concourse. People, like, it's a busy airport. There are wheelchairs everywhere. People are running to flights. Like, if you are not in a hurry and you need to step to the side. I equate it to being on the highway in a car and you don't quite know where you're going, so you stop in the middle of the highway with everyone else zooming by you. You don't do that on the highway. Don't do that. Like, don't do that in the airport. Step off to the side, figure out what you need to do, then jump in with the flow of airport traffic. Ooh, this is a good one. Grab some food or snacks from the concourse before you even get on the plane. Don't count on a snack or meal service in flight. Sometimes it's not always possible. Sometimes a flight is too bumpy for your flight attendants to get up, or your flight attendants might be busy handling a medical emergency. Just don't count on a meal or snack being served on your flight, because if you're starving and you're counting on that meal or service and it can't get done, then you're uncomfortable. You should have time. If you get to the airport on time, stop at, or you can even bring your snacks, as long as it's not like liquids. You can bring snacks from home. Bring some snacks with you, especially if you're traveling with children. Let's talk about alcohol. Let's talk about alcohol before the flight, and let's talk about alcohol during the flight. Do not get drunk at the restaurant out there in the concourse. If the airline employees get the sense that you are intoxicated, you're supposed to be denied boarding. The FAA states that an airline cannot carry a person that appears to be intoxicated. If we can smell alcohol in your breath, if you're slurring your words, if you're causing a scene, you're not getting on that flight. So drink responsibly. Do not indulge too much before you board the plane. Also, don't get drunk on the flight. Your flight attendants are not supposed to serve to intoxication. Keep in mind that alcohol affects everyone differently up there at 35,000 feet than it does down here on the ground. So your flight attendants are monitoring your alcohol intake. We're monitoring how that alcohol affects you. Know your limits and don't really go there, because we're not supposed to serve to intoxication, and you will be cut off. Your flight attendants will cut you off from drinking anymore if we feel that you have indulged too much. Also, don't bring your own. You can bring your own liquor on board. A lot of people like to bring their own little liquor minis that they get from the liquor store. You can bring them, you just can't open them and drink them. I believe there's a $2,000 fine. I'm not exactly sure of the exact amount. I will look that up and I will note it. But there is a fine associated with drinking your own alcohol on board. You can only drink what is served to you by the airline. That is not an airline rule, that is an FAA rule. Also, piggybacking off don't drink your own liquor on board. Don't bring your drinks from the airport restaurant on board the airplane. So when you're sitting there and you're having your pre-flight dinner, look at your watch and, you know, think about, what time am I boarding? You may not want to order that last drink, you know, 5 minutes before you're leaving, because you can't bring it on the plane with you. If your flight attendants see it, we are supposed to confiscate it. So you finish it in the restaurant. Please don't try to bring it on the plane. Another thing about alcohol in flight, for some reason, I don't know why, I've encountered a lot of passengers recently that think that they're not supposed to pay for their alcoholic beverages in flight unless you're flying in first class or unless you're flying international. Usually there's a charge for your alcohol, so don't act surprised. You don't go to the bar and expect a free drink. Don't come to the airplane and expect not to be charged. Now, if you aren't charged, just say thank you, be pleasantly surprised, but be prepared and have your payment ready. Most airlines only take credit card or debit card. My airline has drink coupons, but drink coupons are sent to our frequent flyers. Now, if you are traveling with children, I have been there and done that. My child now is 15, but I remember the days of traveling when he was little. It was fun. I think his first time on an airplane, he was 6 weeks old, and he's been on a plane ever since. From one mom to another, let your children get their energy out on the concourse before you even get on the plane. Now remember what the tip from earlier, that doesn't mean let them run down the center of the concourse where everyone's running to a plane. Find a quiet gate area where the plane has just left and nobody's really sitting there anymore. Find a quiet area. A lot of airports have kid play areas. Be careful though. Wipe those if you have disinfecting wipes, because those areas can be very germ infested. You know how kids are. But let your kids run around before they get on the plane, because you may not be able to get up in flight. You don't know if that flight is going to be bumpy. You don't know if that flight is the seatbelt sign is going to be on the whole time. It may not be safe for you to get up when you're on the plane. So let your kids run around before they get on the plane. And then that ties into getting to the airport early. Bring entertainment for your kids. Back when my kid was little, I used to have to bring a giant laptop with a notebook filled of actual like DVDs that you had to plug into the DVD player. Now they're like iPads. Everybody's got a smartphone. Download some stuff for your kids to watch. Like, I'm all for like putting your kid in front of the TV to babysit, but when you're on a plane, like, it's the easiest thing to do. Watch. Also, back to the headphone thing, that applies for kids too. Bring headphones for your children. Like, not everybody on the flight wants to listen to Elmo. That's what my kid used to like to watch. Not everybody wants to listen to Elmo, and your flight attendants might tell you, ma'am, if you don't have headphones, you've got to quiet that down. And now your kid's pissed off at you because he or she can't hear it. Just bring headphones for your kids. And also if we have headphones on board, we are happy to provide them for you, but don't plan on it. Like, I haven't seen headphones on any of my planes in a long time. But I've seen some really cute headphones that have all your kids' like favorite characters from Disney or whatever your kids are into, and they're like little kid size. It's so cute. I don't know how much they cost. Maybe I'll look them up and I'll link it or post it here on this video. But yeah, I wish I had iPads when my kid was little. It would have made things so much easier. Oh, Another thing, if you're traveling with the kids, is get to the gate early to make sure you can board with a family boarding group. Most airlines will let families with children board before general boarding. Just take advantage of that, so that like if you're traveling with your kid's car seat, you have time and you have the space available to secure that car seat to the seat. It's just easier if you do things earlier and not rushed. So get to the gate early. Take your headphones out, or at least turn the volume down, so that you can A, hear the announcements, B, hear working crew talking to you. Yeah, don't have the volume up so loud that you don't know what's going on. My fear, this is a true fear of mine, is that we're going to have some sort of emergency one day and half the people won't know what's going on because they've got these noise canceling headphones on and they can't hear anything. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for blocking out the world. Trust me, I usually travel with at least 2 pairs of headphones, but don't turn it up so loud that you cannot hear anything. Also, don't ask your flight attendant if your flight's full during the holiday travel season. Guess what? They're all full. They're all full. All of them. Your flight attendants absolutely love it. No, we don't. When every other person asks, is this flight full? Is this flight full? Is this flight full? Guess what? During Thanksgiving and Christmas, yes, all of the flights are full. Oh, this is important. If you are prescribed medication by a doctor, please make sure that A, you have that medication on you, and B, you've taken that medication. I had a medical emergency recently that may have, I mean, I don't know, but it may have been prevented had that person taken their medication before they got on the plane. But yeah, it's important. At least have your medication with you. And having said that, if you are asked to check your bags when you get to the airplane, you planned on bringing your bags on board with you, but you get to the airplane, you find out that all of the overhead bin space is full. They're now checking all bags. Please make sure you get your medication out. Make sure you get all of your important things out. Medication, keys, also these portable batteries. Make sure you have those with you on the bags that you're gonna put underneath your seat. A flight attendant I just flew with the other day said this in her announcement. I thought it was so funny. She said it doesn't matter if your bag is Gucci or Goodwill. Gucci or Goodwill, your bag needs to be stowed properly for takeoff and landing. So, ladies, that means that your purse, when we are about to take off, it needs to go either completely underneath that seat in front of you or in an overhead bin. And I'm going to tell you why. If there's an evacuation, we don't want your bag taking up valuable time needed to get off that airplane. So we don't want you tripping over your bags. We also don't want your bags hitting anybody and injuring them. So the safest place for your bags to be is either completely underneath the seat in front of you or up in an overhead bin. Trust me, nobody plans for an emergency. If your flight crew knew they were going to have an emergency that day, they probably wouldn't have shown up to work. Nobody plans for it. It's just like when you get in your car. You're supposed to put on your seatbelt, right? You're supposed to put on your seatbelt for just in case you get into an accident. Same thing. That's all we're doing on the airplane. Preparing for the unlikely event of an emergency. Put your bags underneath the seat, Gucci or Goodwill. I had this the other day, my next point, and it bothered me. I was making the announcements, I was doing all the announcements for the whole trip, and we were doing the safety demo, and like these people were talking so loudly. And I can't hear myself think, but more importantly, what if the people around you have never flown? They don't know anything about the information that I'm trying to convey. Please just keep don't talk so loudly that you are disrupting the safety demo. The people around you can't hear. Just be courteous, because that information that we're giving you now, hopefully we're not planning on you needing it, but you and everyone else might need it. So it would be helpful if A, you listen, and B, allow other people around you to hear the information that we are giving you. This is, okay, so this is, you've taken off, the weather's good, your flight attendants are able to do an in-flight service. This is a flight attendant pet peeve. Almost every flight attendant. Flight attendants, if you're watching this, comment down below, true or false. Have the conversation with your spouse and or your children about what you're drinking before the flight attendant gets to your row. So we're on our carts or we're serving on our trays. Don't wait for me to get to you. You see me coming, unless you're in the first row, you see me coming from the rows in front of you. Don't wait to say, oh, what would you like to drink? And then turn to your spouse or your children. What do you want to drink, Pete? Oh, I don't know. What do you want to drink, Johnny? Like, have that conversation before we even approach you, because it just makes the service like flow a lot smoother, especially if you are on a very short flight. Like, there's always way more passengers than there are flight attendants. So that time that you're spending having a conference about what you all are drinking, somebody a couple rows behind you may not get their drink because now we've run out of time and now we can't serve them. Have the conference if you need to have a conference. I never understand the conference, and having said that, there's usually a menu in your seat back pocket in front of you, or in the magazine in the seat back pocket in front of you. A lot of times we don't have time for what do you have. The flight might be 30 minutes beginning to end. I know on my airline, if it's not bumpy, we're still going to try to get you a drink. So we don't have a lot of time for what do you have. There's a menu. Go ahead and take a look at that. Have an idea. Let's talk about the Wi-Fi on board. Sometimes the Wi-Fi doesn't work. Sorry. Just like at home. Sometimes like your cable goes out at home. Sorry. Like, it's not your flight attendant's fault. We're probably just as pissed off about it as you are. Don't get upset with us. There's nothing that we can do apart from asking the pilots to reset it. But if the Wi-Fi is just not working on that flight, it's just not working on that flight. We do apologize. Like, it happens. We're sorry. Don't wait to get on a plane to send time-sensitive emails or whatever, because it'll be just at that time when you absolutely need to send something that the Wi-Fi will be broken. Most airlines have like free entertainment, whether it be movies, music, games. Some of them have books. Yeah, and that stuff is free. Keep in mind that you cannot stream your program. So if you're like watching, which reminds me, I need to start watching the next season of The Crown. If you're watching The Crown or you're watching some Netflix program or some Amazon Prime program, download it to your device before you leave home, because you can't stream it up in the air. Also, you can check your flight connections for free on their Wi-Fi system. Your flight is running late and you have to make another connection, like your flight, we don't have computer system up there. We have our own personal devices, which we're not even supposed to be on. Don't ask your flight attendants about if you're going to make your flight connection, because we don't know. Like, the people that know that are the people on the ground, like the customer service agents. They have the computer system up there at 35,000 feet. The only information that I have is the same information that you can get on your phone. So if you have a smartphone, it's usually free to check your connection information. Ooh. The lavatories, flight attendants, comment down below if you have more to add to any of this. If that seatbelt sign is on, please don't ask your flight attendants if it's okay for you to go to the bathroom, because the very nature of the seatbelt sign tells you that you need to be in your seat. But I cannot give you permission to go ahead to the bathroom if the seatbelt sign's on. What I'm going to say is,
seatbelt sign is on. But is it against the law, though? The light is on.
If the seatbelt sign is on, your flight attendants are not supposed to give you permission to get up and go to the lavatory. But that being said, I also tell people I'm not going to wrestle you back to your seat either. I'm just going to inform you that the seatbelt sign is on. Don't go to the bathroom without shoes on. That is disgusting. Whatever that is on the floor, do not assume that that's water. Just put some shoes on. Ooh, lock that bathroom door, folks, please. A, it'll turn that light on for you when you get in there, and B, it'll prevent a potentially embarrassing situation. So, like, I never understand how people don't lock the bathroom door. It's dark in there. Like, how do you even see? Also, find that flush button. I guarantee you there's a flush button in there. I promise you, every single bathroom on an airplane, every single one of them has a flush button somewhere. If you've locked the bathroom door, the light's on, look around for it and find it and just hit that button. All right, we're almost to the end of this. This is kind of long. I'm gonna have to edit this down. But just some miscellaneous stuff in my humble opinion, and it took a while for me to get here, but just general travel tips. Earlier flights are the best in my opinion. The reason being is they're not usually delayed. If they are delayed, it's usually because of some sort of weather, like a snowstorm or something, which you probably already know because you've either heard about it on the news or you can look out your window and see that it's snowing. Yeah, in that case, the airline will likely contact you from the night before, but I just find that early morning flights flow so much smoother because everyone's sleeping on the airplane. It's just fewer delays. Also, for me, there's a big one. The airplanes are cleaner first thing in the morning. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, who knows what that is in your seat back pocket. Please don't leave garbage in your seat back pocket. Like, if you didn't want it, I don't know why you think the person that's going to sit in that seat behind you wants it. And like I don't want to go in there and get it. Like, we come through the cabin a bunch of times collecting trash. Go ahead and give it to us. Like, just give it to us when we're asking for it. Also, don't put important stuff in the seat back pocket. I call that seat back pocket in front of you like the abyss. The abyss. Like, people put stuff in there, it's like a black hole, and then it goes down in there and it's never to be seen again. Like, I never put my phone or whatever, because A, I'm gonna forget it, and B, it's just nasty in that seat back pocket. It's just nasty. Oh, this is random miscellaneous stuff. If I'm coming through with trash and you see I've got trash everywhere, please don't try to hand me more trash. Like, I don't have any hands. If my trash bag is like overflowing, like, where are you gonna put it? I promise you, I'm going to go back to the back of the airplane, to the galley, dump the trash I already have, and then I'm coming back through to come and get some more. I promise you, I'm not going out the back door. I don't know, trash anxiety is like a real thing. But if you see my hands are full, please don't try to give me more trash. Lastly, the most important thing about traveling during the holidays is pack your patience and be nice. I mean, we're all in this together, all of us. There's an old saying that says you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. Basically, that just means that you get more from being nice than you do from being nasty. Your flight crew and other airline employees will try to go above and beyond, especially when you're being nice to them. If your flight's delayed, guess what? My flight's delayed too. Like, I don't want it to be delayed any more than you do. I was trying to get to my layover. I'm tired. I don't want to be on this airplane either. So don't take it out on me. I promise you, it's likely not my fault. It's likely nothing that I can do about the delay. All I can do is inform you of what's happening. So, just having said that, just pack your patience. Pack your patience and be nice to yourself, be nice to each other, be nice to your flight crew, and we will all get through this holiday travel season together. If you see me, if you're watching this video and you see me up there in the sky, say hey. Enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, and yeah, just enjoy your holiday season. It is the most wonderful time of the year. I've got some holiday videos coming up because Christmas is like, I'm a Christmas fanatic.
Santa! Oh my God! Santa here? I know him.
Like a Christmas freak, so I've been planning for it pretty much all year. So yeah, keep watching my channel. I've got some Christmas videos coming up. Flight attendants, if you have anything that you want to add, please comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see more of what I have to say, go ahead and hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you want to see me again. I really appreciate it. And have a great holiday season, and I will see you up there at 35,000 feet.